Sure. Danielle, welcome to the program.
Oh, hey, Dr. Laura. Thank you so much for taking my call. I've been sitting here listening to everybody, and boom, there you were. I'm trying to think of how to boil this down, but I have a 23-year-old son.
Do you have a husband? Do you have a husband?
Yeah,
Is your husband?
Like
wait a minute. Whoa, come on. That was a yes/no question. Do you have a husband? Yes. Is your husband the father of this 23-year-old son?
We adopted him together.
Okay, so yes, by adoption. Yes.
By
okay.
adoption.
Did you
He is
adopt,
his father.
ma'am? Oh my God, this is going to keep happening today. I don't know how I can cope. Okay. Did you adopt him from birth or later on?
He was 21 months when we adopted him.
So not from birth. And who was taking care of him during that time?
He was in an orphanage in Russia. So we went to Russia and brought him home. We had one biological daughter at the time, but couldn't have.
I'm curious, why would we go all the way to Russia? There are kids here up for adoption. Why would we go all the way to Russia?
Well,
to an orphanage.
At the time, that's water under the bridge, but at the time
actually, it's not. It's relevant, most likely, to the reason you called.
Yeah, it's been difficult. It's been difficult.
My question is, why did you go all the way to Russia as opposed to signing up with some adoption attorneys and getting a baby here at birth? What was your thinking?
At the time, I believed that there were so many children available that needed moms and dads, and the process was about a year or less for a foreign adoption, either China or Russia. And domestic adoptions were a much longer process, 2 or 3 years. And my daughter at the time
2 or 3 years if you go through what venue?
Well, it's been 20 years, but just a domestic adoption.
No. I understand what the word domestic means, but were you talking about private adoption attorneys or were you talking about agencies?
I don't know. I wish I'd done more research, but I didn't. And
okay.
I wanted, in my mind at the time, I wanted them to have not so much a gap in age. And by the time the process was done, which took, 8 or 9 months, he was then 21 months old. So more time.
And what was it like with him growing up?
Well, he was very hyperactive, and he just had all the baggage of a child who lived in an orphanage for 2 years. And he's done better than we got over there, and we just couldn't come back without him. We just didn't.
No, but I appreciate that sensitivity of yours, but I'm just querying, what was it like while he was growing up?
It's been difficult since day one.
Okay. Hear the music coming up? Oh, would you be willing to hold through the break so we could finish our conversation right after the top of the hour?
Yes, I'd be glad to help.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold right now. You go from pink to a nice canary yellow. I'm Dr. Laura Schlesinger. We're going to take a break and come back with Danielle and your call at 1-800-375-2872. Now, go do the right thing.
Try co-moderate this debate.
Life insurance.
I know.
Answer a few health.
You were Ethos.
Brownie coffee. Brownie.
Revolution.
To me.com and click
Stage.
Channel Laura is.
You can get a this, get a that. step by step. And every step you take, are here with around in your head or your heart and screening your calls. The amazing Carson Smith, and he is, engineering, orchestrating our music, producing the segues, again, to reach me for whatever is rattling around in your head or your heart. 1-800-375-2872. Okay, last hour we were talking to Danielle about her now 23, adopted at 10% that age. And let's up to date now. What's happening now that's concerning you? You had a very difficult time raising him, which is not unusual for these foreign adoptions with kids in orphanages because bonding is very important for them, etc. So I appreciate that it's been tough. What's happening now?
Oddly enough, I was talking to my daughter at lunch today, and she sort of had it with him a long time ago, and my husband has had a really tough time the last few years, just because it's just been hard and it just never seems to get any better. And I was talking to my daughter at lunch, and I said, I know. Sometimes I want to call Dr. Laura. It's so weird I got through to you. And I said, but I know what she'd say because I've heard you over and over say they're 18, they're adults. He's almost 24 and coming up. So I know in my logical mind that he is not a child anymore. But I think because of how he had a rough start, I've always kind of, it's hard for me.
Okay, may I comment about that rough start?
Yeah.
He had 2 years of a rough start and 21 with a loving family. And if 21 with a loving family cannot overcome the 2 years of a rough start, 2 more years of you trying won't help.
Yeah. Well, to complicate things, he now has a 1.5-year-old and lives with the mother of the baby.
He's having a life. Leave him to his
but
life.
He has no job. He has no money. He has,
Leave him to his life. I understand. And that's what they have welfare for. Leave him to his life. If 21 years hasn't helped him, 20 more won't either. And meanwhile, your husband's lifespan has already been shortened. And that's not a joke.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And you have a responsibility to him before this adopted son, who's an adult. Your responsibility is back with your husband. Please take care of him.
I do. We have a really good marriage, thank
Ma'am,
God.
no. Every moment you spend dealing with him with this, being upset about it, talking to your daughter about it, that's not being good to your husband. No, it isn't. No. Sorry. Nice try.
Yeah, it's just hard when there's a baby involved.
It doesn't matter if it's difficult. It doesn't matter. Things have to be done whether they're difficult or not. And your husband's lifespan has been shortened by all of this stress, and you're continuing it. And I'm asking you to take moral responsibility for... Leave your son...
What you're saying.
Okay, my answer is, as you knew before you called, he's an adult. He's making his decisions. There are options. They're all his. Leave him to his choices. You can't fix it.
Yep. Yep.
It is very sad.
I know it's terrible. It's terrible. So,
But it is out of your control. And your daughter has had enough of it. Your husband has had enough of it. It's about time you've had enough of it.
okay.
Or don't you think you owe them something? Only him?
I do. I do. I do.
Well, then,
I-
embrace what I've told you. My number, 1-800-375-2872. Nancy,